Hello and welcome to Tykes Tv. First of all, I want to say thank you to the club for inviting me, and also for Khaled, the CEO of Barnsley, taking his time out as well in a busy day. So Khaled, appreciate it. Thanks for inviting me. Before I also want to start as well, as you may or may not know, Beth Sefton, some very, very sad news on Friday. I've known Beth for quite a bit. She's been in various roles at the club, and it was sad news what we heard. Put it on social media, and not only a remarkable woman, but also a stalwart at the club. So I don't know if Khaled, if you want to say a few words about Seth.
No, obviously it's very sad news. We found out on Friday, and everything since is trying to support her and her family, and just kind of hoping for the best. We try to be positive. We don't know much, so we also want to respect her privacy. We had a meeting here on Monday where we gathered as a club and staff just to kind of give everyone the acknowledgement and respect that people will handle this separately and that we're okay with it, even though we're leading up to a big game. I thought the team responded fantastically against Cheltenham because I made them aware as they went down. I also know that Duff brought it up with the players. Everyone's asking, and all we can do at this moment is support her and her family and wish for the best. But I think deep inside, she knows we're there for her. So, and we look forward to better news.
And it kind of puts football in perspective, things like that, results and stuff. But people that don't really know your background, did you ever imagine being a CEO of Barnsley Football Club when you first started off in your career?
I knew quite early that I was gonna be in football. So I think I was maybe 6 years old in Lebanon. Wars going on. I'll never forget my dad come with this plastic football, and we start playing, and I was hooked at that time. And I knew early that was either gonna be the new Maradona, the football Maradona, not the issues off the off the field, or that I'm gonna be a sporting director, CEO. I loved Football Manager. I still do. And life and hard work and doing things genuinely brought me to a great place like Barnsley, where I now live in the town centre with my wife and two daughters.
So you settled in Barnsley. You've took to us pretty well. Your first real season in charge, beginning of season, and we all know issues of last season. But going to this season, I said earlier on the most critical and important piece of jigsaw, we're going to get a coach, manager in after, and to be fair, it's paying off rewards at the minute, isn't it, with Michael Duff?
Yeah, it has. I mean, I think just around like last season, it happened. It's important to acknowledge so we can learn from what we could have done better. Certain things we couldn't control, the things we can. We tried to do their best. Already in January, we end up bringing Kenya and Bassi, so there's started to be an improvement. And even though it's a poor season, us as a club, we have to move forward, be positive, and continue to try to do that 1% improvement every day, which then leading to the back end of the spring last year, I did an analysis of what I thought we as a club needed on and off the pitch. With the great support of my colleagues, we kind of set out with a clear plan of what type of a personality, coach, football that we wanted. And Michael and I got along really well, clicked, and it's just continues to improve. And it's not just Michael. It was promoting Devaney from under 21s. It was Patterson. It was the physios, the sports science. It's a massive puzzle that had to be put in place for that foundation, so that when players step in, they're like, okay, something is changing. Standards are the highest, and we're now going to do our best to be competitive.
I think we all kind of saw that early on in pre-season. I remember first away game of Worksop Town, and you could see that the club were trying to change in a direction, a positive direction. Free food, drinks. You can see a sponsor here. What we're getting handed out as well.
Product placement.
And it was a good gesture by the club as well, because it were a pre-season away at Worksop, and you could see the building blocks there trying to engage, that disenchantment with some fans and fan base. And again, we could also see the kind of standard and personality. I got an invite. I was lucky to get an invite when Michael Duff got announced as manager. As soon as he walked into the room, an aura, a presence about him, and them standards, what you're on about, you could see it transcending through. Like I said, via Patterson, Devaney, Nick Eden coming in. Also had Nick Eden on channel when he were in Jamaica, coaching in Jamaica. So again, it's about good bonding and understanding. Were you surprised? Because I know you touched on it when you were saying you're reviewing what's been happening and stuff. One of the things what were concerning for me is that in the past couple of seasons how slow we've started. But again, I think the pre-season and beginning of this season, it seems to have been a bit different. We seem to have tried to move on and not like 6-7 games into it, we're down bottom, pushed on. Is that something you've been touching on?
Yeah, I mean, again, it goes back to even before players went on vacation, even before the announcement of Duff, where we brought in the players in staggered groups. We looked on who played a lot of minutes, who didn't, the young ones. Certain group had 4 weeks vacation, another one 5, another 6. So we already bought ourselves time, because preseason is usually 6 weeks. So why waste the first 2 weeks for physical work? They got about 2-week vacation, then they got an individual program. All the players were committed, came back in a better shape. And as they all came in, why should we not aim to be the best that we can be and see how long that goes? But that is driving standards on and off the pitch every day, all the time, rain, snow, sunshine. And I think having that mindset has really helped us essentially take each game at a time and just be as competitive as possible, which I think then relates to better results or being in the hunt early on.
And again, going back to pre-season, a lot of new faces coming in. A few eyebrows are raised with a certain James Norwood. People like saying, we're signing an older player. But again, if it's on the database, if it's on the radar, a player that we've been looking at, more importantly, if Michael Duff wants him as well, we can see that with Conor McCarthy unfortunately being out long-term injury. But another probably proven a very popular player is Luke O'Connell. He just come in and sets different standards, and it's also pushing the team on as well.
Yeah, and I think it's easy to sometimes blame the players if they don't start off well or say that the recruitment isn't doing a good job. I think the recruitment in the summer and this window did a very good job with Matt and Harrison and James Crine. And I think what we got right these 2 windows is the cooperation between each department. So we're all on the same page. I know in the past I said we will only sign players around 23, 24. The vision is to continue do that, but even I adjusted in the sense of went back to a little bit what we discussed when I worked for City Football Group is the squad balance. So I'm talking now about average age. We want to be one of the youngest in UK and Europe, but there is room for an older one if we find the right type, character and financial balance. The fact that the players are all doing well, I mean, we were confident when we brought them in, so there is no real surprise element. And I would even say I even expect a bit more of them coming, because I think every player we brought in came for a reason, and there is talent. For some it will take longer than others. Some will reach the absolute peak of their potential, some won't. But I've said as always, as long as they're Barnsley player, they're ours, and we support them and try to make sure they can help us the best they can.
Yeah, I'm echoing that as well, because when the new players came in, we also got an invite from club. Andy White and Lewis Robinson and that did an invite for the press, for the local media kind of thing and social media, and we had a chance to interview some players after a training session. And talking to Luke O'Connell, James Cundy, another one, is coming into club, they actually want to play for club. They want to play football. They had that hunger and desire, and you can see that rather than just turn up, pick a wage up and go. I think because fans can see it on pitch happening, that the game be all, that's where it's transcending down. I know we're going to get on about fan experience a bit later on in interview, but I think the togetherness and the unity, and Michael Duff getting 2 Manager of the Month awards, that kind of speaks volumes, and what what he's come in and what he's had to try and rebuild after, his relegation kind of thing on the up. So again, Michael Duff proving his worth in what you've said there, fitting out on his agenda.
I mean, definitely, and on all credit to Duff and the players. But again, the discussions of the identity of who we wanted to be started earlier. That's why we could get Michael Duff. So he bought into the story and the vision that I was telling him about of who Barnsley Football Club is. Community driven, hardworking, high press, a bit of underdog mentality. I keep, getting the answer why you live in Barnsley, and I look around like Barnsley's great, and start embracing the fact of our colors and where we were, are, and where we're going. And I think when I spoke to Luca Connell and every player we brought in, we had an interview with an analysis. I think Luca was maybe even on vacation when I had him an interview. And Duff and I were very clear. These are the standards. You're looking us in our eyes, and we're going to hold you accountable. And every one of them have lived up to that. And I think all those little things end up adding. The idea that I brought along with the media team, we said, what can we do? Hey, let's take them to national coal mining.
Yeah.
And what I love specifically with the coaching staff is they buy into this. They say, of course, it's a great idea. And that's why I meant a little bit the communication and coloration of what the club wants, the player, the coach, because there's individual kind of journeys, but they all seem to align. So we become a force. And when we're a force on the field, and obviously when we get to the fan experience, we also want to be a force off the field and then bring everyone with us. Then we can give ourselves the best chance to achieve our potential. What that is, we don't know, because there's other teams, referees, etc., other factors that affect what we ultimately want, and that is to win as many possible games as we can.
Just going on at fan experience, I mean, probably one of the best away days, and I think probably for everybody out here, Sheffield Wednesday away. There's no getting away from that. It's been kind of frustrating because I know you've been putting messages out, kind of wanting ideas and stuff like that to get engaged and what can we make it to be a better experience. And I don't think it's like a one answer question kind of thing, because I think it's like a combination of things. My own opinion, I think it's like a lot to go with cost of living. Probably no disrespect to like your so-called small teams in League One when we don't fetch in the way falling. I know that clubs are actively looking at stuff like that with fan zones, getting trying to engage with all ages, all genders, and again, people what's got any ideas, please get into club, because we want to make bounce. We want to be like proper buzzing and filter afters and get your heads. We'll get on about this a bit later on, but again, it's kind of frustrating that you can see certain areas. I know people have said before sometimes stewards are a bit zealous and that, but I've seen both you and Julian in Pontyend as well. Full respect for you for that as well, because I'm sure you could have got a lot of verbal abuse, but you'd probably not say it on here, but what I saw, it was a good, pleasing thing for you to join fans. Is there anything that you think yourself, I mean, safe stand has been another one been possibly mentioned, could we see introductions of at certain parts of ground in future?
So first and foremost, and on the record, you were obviously one of the creative people of reaching out with ideas, so I appreciate that, and we want more of those, and we do listen. What everyone has to understand is, one, we have Oakwell, and we do the best we can with what we are provided, the resources. The list is endless of what you can continue to improve. I said it before, we invested tens and tens of thousands of a quicker booking system so that people don't have to stand in the queue for a long time. We're looking at changing vendor, like literally everything, because it hasn't necessarily been brought up. The same issue was here when we almost got promoted, and the same issues, it's been almost building up, and then it just all exploded. So we now have to look at everything, prioritize, and what I can say, and I'm happy to say it like this in public, we are really trying, everyone from every aspect, to try to improve that experience. There's certain limitations. I keep being asked about Beaver Court. there is nothing we can do. It's not our decision. We accept the decision because we have a safety certificate we have to abide by, and we do that, and we just accept, move on, try to adjust, and continue to improve. Around safe standing, we're reviewing it. It's a massive investment. Safety certificate, you have what you would do at home, you have to give for the away fans. It's complicated. We're open to it. We're exploring it. But really, like, I full respect for cost of living and changes. But what I do want is, just as we demand from the players that they do their best for 90 minutes, is I'd like us to have that same demand on ourselves. That if you do choose to come, and that choice is yours, we'd love it to be full, but if you do choose to come, enjoy it for 90 minutes, dance, jump, scream, be part of the action, create that atmosphere. Because for me, I'll like the two experience actually we'll never forget. Fulham at home, we're relegation battle, we're up 1-0. It was quiet and people almost complaining at our performance. And I'm like, we're building, and Fulham scores. And then you fast forward to Cambridge, man down, League One, and that's the energy. That's the energy we need, and I am convinced it's gonna be better against Derby because the fans have now set their own expectations. Problem is, I'm superstitious, and I'm trying to figure out: am I gonna go back into the stands, into Pontiend, or I don't? My partner Julian is not here, so maybe I cannot do it alone. I have all these thoughts.
Can you get a seat? Is it a
I
sub?
don't know exactly. I don't know what to do yet, but yeah, we're trying to improve, and all I ask everyone to do is just join, and let's do this.
Let's do this. And you just mentioned really about Beaver Court and stuff, things like that. Kind of moving on from that, regarding the council with the ground, I know you've said in previous fans forums and stuff like that, it's positive meetings, what's been going off. I know you're not obliged to say anything, but is the hope, is the light end of this tunnel, is it going to be something we're going to be still playing at Oakwell in another 100 years' time kind of thing, or is it still talks and discussions and we are going to be playing at Oakwell, just to ease a few fans' worries?
I think to ease the fans, all I would say is the club wants the same thing, the council wants the same thing, but then there's various aspects that just takes time. And it's a positive dialogue. It wasn't there before I came as good as it's now. We've put in a lot of effort from both sides to create that atmosphere where we can talk about certain things that we might agree and not disagree, but all in a good environment and perception and vision that it's the best for the community and the fans. So it's a positive discussion, and we'll see how things will evolve in the near future, whether it's 6 months, 12 months, but it's positive. And I wouldn't say it's positive if it wasn't. And I think that should please people, that it's at least heading in the right direction, and then we'll see.
Positive, heading in the right direction, that's what we want to hear. And again, getting about community here, like we just said, for council and stuff, great work with food banks and charities, Barnsley Hospice, and got Barnsley Hospice on. Again, you kind of we learn by mistakes and we move on and make a positive art in it kind of thing, and to get other local businesses involved in club as well. Another positive, another reaching out to community as well. Like your stadium tours, unfortunately, by the time I got around it was sold out, so I'll probably have to retry again. But
I'll take you around the stadium after this.
All right, brilliant. One-on-one. But again, it's that kind of, even though we had a bad season, people still wanted to come. They still wanted to go on stadium tours. They still wanted to sponsor us, and so there's kind of positives coming out of it all the time, which is what we want to see on rise and not up, like you said earlier.
I mean, look, I heard the dissatisfaction prior to the season. I was not gonna sell more than we had one of the best season tickets sailing in the last 5, 6, 7 years.
Okay.
Right, we sold a lot, and that shows the power of Barnsley Football Club and its loyal supporters. And we are ask my colleagues. I say every year, we're gonna sell out. We're gonna sell out. And if we don't aim for it, and people will ridicule me and say what they want, that's the vision I have for this club. It is gonna be a fortress, and everyone's gonna come. Will it take time? Of course. Will it go up and down? Of course. But that's the vision, and that's where we're heading. So I think all positive. When you talked about, stadium tours, we want to create value. We've had open trainings. How quickly we kind of adapted after the Exeter game to try to show gratitude. The fan forums, I know we're one of the most communicated clubs in the league in terms of access to the owners, the directors, the fan forums, and we want to, as long as everything is done in a respectful way. Don't have to always agree, but to have at least a good dialogue. So again, thank you for your support. We had a great following in the half season tickets, more than, I would say, a decade of how many we sold in terms of percentage growth. And I think we're all heading in the right direction. And that's thanks to my colleagues, team, coaches, and the fans, council. It will only be positive if we all pull together.
Yeah, I echo that. It's like I can see things from outside as well, all pulling in the right direction, and a togetherness, and it's something what's been missing for a fair few years, to be fair. But now you can start seeing building blocks. Going forward, I mean, we're getting to like December, New Year kind of thing. Going to another transfer window, and again, some signs what were coming off. I mean, Russell, one of them I didn't even see coming anywhere. I know we've had these fan forums, and I don't think I can think of a club what so open and put the via more or less up on block. If from Nirav to yourself to Julian, the new marketing person John, what came in, and again, I think if everybody had the same opinion and we all agreed, it'd be a boring world. Everybody's got to be respectful in what they say, and like what you've always said, you've always said, like, look, no one's bad, just come out with it and say things, and that's openly and honest. I can't fault that one bit. One thing that you like alluded to is that certain members were like having to put in money about the club. We all know that the cost of going to dropping a league. Is there any serious repercussions with that? Are Barnsley going to be in financial difficulties, or is it going to be no, we're good, but we have to put money in? Because I know about COVID and stuff like that, playing up from that as well. Is there anything for fans to worry about, like saying, owners are putting money in, if we don't, then there's no club? If you kind of get what I mean.
I think every club with COVID and relegation has some financial difficulties. What I can say and what I like about the current ownership is they're supportive, but they also demand that we do the right thing. We need to improve the experience. We need to look at all the revenue potential, the where we can increase to do we sell more jerseys, like where can we do our best to continue be sustainable, and then I think they run it in a smart way, and that's the way I wanted. It was one of the reasons I liked kind of the idea of coming to Barnsley, and all I can say, I mean, I don't have those worries. They're supportive, and that's what we want.
No worries. We're good as a club. So we're going into February like now. Are you kind of where we are in league now? Is that what you were expecting, or are you not looking at that? Do you look at every week? Do you look at every month? Performance? Not necessarily about the other teams, what they're doing, but on our rough idea, are you saying, yeah, we should be round about here, or no, I think we should be up, a bit further up kind of thing?
I think everyone's different. For me, I really just focus on the daily grit. What meeting should I have? What decision will I make now that will help the club short term, long term? What type of legacy can I build and we leave behind? Because we're all custodians of Barnsley Football Club. But I'm a winner. I hate losing. So whenever I am, even last year, I think you remember, I'm like, we're not getting relegated until mathematically proven.
Only person in that meeting what we say about
But it's just how I am from my background of, you can look at my door when you walk out, it says impossible is nothing. Like, I want to win every game. Does that happen in sports? You usually lose more than you win. But I want my players, my staff, my coaches, everyone to have that drive that we are going to win every game. And then we'll see how far that takes us. As long as we do what we can do to the best of our ability, we'll be heading in the right direction. Where we are now is just another opportunity to play well against Saturday. I really try not to look further than that. But as a personal opinion, I want to win every game.
I want to win every game.
I think we all want to win every game. It doesn't help when we get dodgy referee decisions. But again, I know I don't want to get you in trouble for this one, Khaled. But my own opinion, I think there's some to say horrendous, dodgy, and baffling decisions being made. I know in Premier League they're still having issues with VAR and that. And again, for me, I look at it as a fan point of view. Is that surely that referees, if they're wanting help, you can't be all and end all and have VAR because still got issues with that. It's probably an unfair question to ask you with this, but again, with standard refereeing, from a fan, I'd like to see more professionalism at referees in training or understanding it game. I understand if you don't want to dodge this question, but from a fan experience, it's not more frustrating. And when you look at points, what we could have probably had extra as well. And it's not just Barnsley; it's other clubs as well up and down country.
So look, I mean, I can openly admit that I do think certain decisions the refereeing got completely wrong. But just like us and players can't focus on it, everyone at this level needs to improve, and that goes for everyone to make sure that the product is the best it can be, the entertainment is the best it can be, and that it's as fair of a competition as it can be. But I always say you would assume over a course of 46 games that it evens out. So we'll see. Ask me after the end of the season.
I'll actually end the season, and I want to make it talking about Barnsley Football Club, not about referees and officials, but we'll move on from that. So yeah, we're going into end of season kind of thing. Some big teams coming up. We got on about the fan experience and things like that. Big games. I see them as cup final games myself, because we've got to play a majority of big teams coming to Oakwell, starting against Derby County on Saturday. I know they're going to be fetching, quite a few following. So again, Oakwell is going to be a bouncing, buzzing place that you'd like it to be. Do you think that fans will be buying into this season for the tickets for the game coming up? Are you privy to any information? Is it going to be a really, really good crowd? What's coming up?
It certainly looks that it's heading in the right direction. I think it was maybe a week ago I walked into the office. I said, put up every home game we have. And I said, we're selling out every one of them. I understand, impossible, I get it. But that's the mindset. So if everyone wants us to get promoted and everyone wants us to do this on the field, there's 2 games going on Saturday. One off the field and one on the field. I want to win both. And the one off the field, everyone needs to tie in. The one off the field is up to the coach and the players. But I am a strong believer that we the fans helped the team against Cambridge. I'm a strong believer that our away results are so good because our away following is, in my opinion, one of the best in the league, if not the best. I'm a strong believer that if we sell out and make this, I saw even Sean Dyche said, a fortress, it might be a difference of 3 to 6 points. And whether it's, and here's a bit of difference, for me every game is 3 points. We might lose 1, win 2 others. Every game is 3 points, so whether it's Morecambe at home or Derby, Oakwell should be the same. That's the expectations I put on our staff, or we put on each other. It's exact same expectations the players put on each other, right? They don't go, today we're playing this team, so I'm gonna play 70%. No. So that is the atmosphere you want to create, and hopefully, everyone will buy into it because they also believe that I'm part of this. I spend money on season ticket and concessions. I'm gonna help my team to win.
Good analysis fact when you think about it is like there's two games going off on Saturday, one on pitch and one off the pitch, and when you look at it like that, it works hand in hand and it can benefit both people. And again, we're all driving for that. We're going to make Oakwell red scarves. We're going to get it all published and stuff out there. There's been a lot on social media already to get down and make it like a fortress, like you said, Via, and we can be the 12th man and help push that on, make it intimidating for away fans and away teams to come as well. Going on to end of season, if you had a crystal ball like that kind of thing, would you be disappointed? It's probably going to say, yeah, you're going to be disappointed. If we only just said we got to playoffs, I'm looking for automatic. But if we went to playoffs, would you be disappointed if it were we got to playoffs and we went to Wembley and we missed out, or would you want automatic?
So Neil, this is I don't think of anything else than next game and the best outcome.
Okay.
So let's park that question and ask me after the season.
Okay.
That was short and sweet, wasn't it? But yeah, I kind of get where you're coming from with that. For me as a fan, I'm looking at automatic promotion. And like I say, you're always like expectation. You want to win every game. Realism, Ed or Art kicking in there, I don't know. But I'm wanting automatic promotion. If we get to Wembley and we go through that, that's fine. Looking at the players in the squad as it is now, I know there's going to be some fans out there thinking, oh, well, some players are going to be off because we've had a good season. And all a lot of ifs, buts and maybes, I know this. But in manager, what I'm seeing, and his coaching staff, to be fair, is that they all seem happy at the club. And I don't think, and I might be wrong in this, I don't think any players will be wanting to leave a club what's an happy working environment, such as Barnsley. Is that a true reflection on that?
I think the energy and what you see on the field shows that there's a togetherness and happiness. But the one thing of all my experience in football, when it comes to transfer windows, you need to be ready and expect everything. A lot of changes, small changes, no changes. We have all those ongoing discussions. We're preparing for everything and nothing. Again, you just need to trust that there is a process, there's a thought behind it, there's also a human behind it. A player maybe has his own aspirations, whether he's happy or not. So there's so many factors in it. So again, we're already talking about the summer, various scenarios, but ultimately it's still kind of to rail down and say, hey, let's focus all energy on making the right decision, right training session, today, tomorrow, and see where that takes us, because the two scenarios could be completely different.
Very good answer, and yeah, I think a lot of fans understand that. I mean, we were just talking off there, it's not like a football manager where you can like offer X amount of player and then keep upping it and upping it and upping it. There's a lot of things in place, like you said, the player, does he want to move to area, agents, and a lot of culmination of things, isn't there? So yeah, Khaled, I want to take time out and thank you for inviting me. I've really, really appreciated it and enjoyed it as well. I've really enjoyed it. People that's watching, please leave your comments below. Let us know what you think about what you've just heard there, about fan experience, getting Oakwell buzzing and bouncing, making it red, players, Duff himself getting Two Manager Months Award. Let's hope we can add a few more to that to end the season. So yeah, thank you for Barnsley Football Club. Thank you for Khaled. Let's make Oakwell red. Barnsley Football FC. You Reds.